what are the technologies that you see that are changing your business?
For a indoctrinated listener, they understand the difference between lease administration and lease audit, right? Lease audit is often a piece of lease administration.
Right.
For an indoctrinated listener, lease administration covers things from document collection, abstraction, all the way to paying the bills and checking.
Right.
And it usually includes, I don't want to say this in a derogatory way, but a cosmetic look at the costs. But it doesn't do a deep dive like a lawyer or a broker or a CPA would do. So there's a big process that happens to get bills paid, dated, rent paid, OPEX paid, and all that kind of stuff. And then we show up as part of that process. The idea would be to create a continuum, but a lot of times we're seen as sort of a point solution to say, hey, come do lease audits after lease administration is done. The key is that get the continuum of lease administration to lease audit. Where is technology being applied? I'd say for the past decade, natural language processing and sort of generative AI has been focused on lease language, both on the side and in the sort of sentiment analysis interpretation of a done deal. I've been focused on that from it, not doing it myself, just following the market, because it was, like all things in its infancy, not particularly accurate or good. There's a lot of puffery of what it could do. And now we've got about a decade under our belt. It's very good. Some of this stuff is actually really cool if you want to have a lease compared to a template that you prefers, or you want to have a lease give you some detail about a provision, whether that your firm likes that or not, if you code it that way. So in the lease administration world, been upended in terms of how quickly can you abstract and how accurately can you abstract a document using a tool that can read a lease, shove in a PDF and it'll abstract it. So you're reducing headcount, you're usually increasing accuracy and speed. I haven't seen much beyond that in terms of a big push for whether it's generative or agentic AI to do anything in lease administration. I know people are working on it, but I haven't seen a huge move in that direction. We focused on unstructured landlord financial data, not the lease. We have partners if we want someone to read a lease with a natural language process. We take the tabular data and the variety of bills that landlords create, intentional or not, they're all considered unstructured because they on different pages, there's notes thrown in there. There was we interviewed probably 8 or 9 different companies. Can you please give me a model that will read these bills and create some organization for me? And every single one of them said, we don't have one. We'll build one for you. So after the 7th or 8th time, I said, well, I'll just build one myself. Well, I'm not going to pay you to do it. So we built one. And now we actually have a tool. Think about it as a big funnel. You can throw every OPEX bill you've ever received on a 1,500 location portfolio year over year, figures out what location they belong to, what year it is, breaks them down side by side, and spits out what's considered a desk audit. It does a year over year trending, category by category, and we overlay our intelligence in it to say, do I like that or do I not like that? That has cut down what an average person takes about an hour to 2 hours to do one location a year for that to a couple seconds. So in our little space, that technology is a big deal because if you spread out the amount of work across multiple portfolios, that every day you're getting one of these sort of interruptions of unstructured data and say, hey, you got another one of these. And you, like you said earlier, you have your 60 days to look at it, figure out if you like it, add 100 more to that. Are you getting through all of them? I think the statistic for most lease administration companies is they have about a 20% miss. It's too much of it. So they get about 70 to 80% of those processed. So we don't have that problem. Yeah. So the focus on big ones might be appropriate when you break it down to what are you paying and why, right? You might have a 1,500 square foot location that has all the problems in the world, but if it's only going to save you $7,000 over the next 3 years, most companies don't want to chase it. We certainly, wouldn't support them, ruining a relationship over $7,000. That being said, our ability to scale has shown us many situations where the paradigm is shifted. We found a 7,800 square foot location, standalone, one location for a medical device manufacturer here in San Diego, and not even in San Diego Prime. And 7,800 square foot barely, raises the needle for most people who do lease audits. They want 20, 30,000 square feet or hundreds of thousands of square feet. But we put it into the system, the tool, and the tool flagged immediately that year over year, the numbers weren't matching up to what the expectation of our budget that we create automatically behind the scenes should have been based on our quick read of the lease and the automated bill. Turned out, believe it or not, the landlord was billing a variety of charges net on a base year lease. Nobody would have noticed. It wasn't huge money. We fixed it. Turned out to be about $280,000 for a 7,800 square foot tenant. Do that math. The machine picked that up in a couple seconds.
Right.
So yeah, it really changes the paradigm and how much of this you can get done.
You can offer a better service to your client because of AI.
It's a more complete service. It will be a more accurate way to assess risk across portfolios. It can be completely sliced and diced and looked at for whatever use case.